Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a bit. It's just been crazy and chaotic. Nonsense been going on. A lot of positive, a lot of chaos. That's how life is, anyways. Garden stuff's doing great. Everything is just coming up, coming up. That we've been busy with that. All the farm stuff, all the animals, all the garden stuff, doing great. And I'm behind on videos because Monday evening our hot water heater busted and flooded my bedroom. So we were up to almost midnight with that. That's been a chore, and we're having to, rip all the flooring out, and we're gonna have to end up redoing flooring. So that has been going on. Life, those are those things that just always seem to happen. Of course, it didn't happen on the 3-day weekend. It happened on Monday. So that's why I've just been behind, and I keep thinking, okay, I got a moment today, I'll record, and I haven't. But I want to give this update because a lot of people had asked on and off. There's a lot of people in the community that have RA, autoimmune diseases, everything like that. I had a really big appointment today with a holistic, naturopathic, functional doctor who does specialize in autoimmune diseases. And I had to have, of course, different type of labs and different types of testing, like blood analysis. There's different things that go on. That's the naturopathic side. If you choose to go that route, if not, you do what's best for you. And because there was the original doctor who did the things, they were like, oh, well, this lab shows, so this is what you have as RA. But there was a lot of things that were not fitting, but, we're not all cookie cutter, and I was just kind of writing things out to see where it was. So that isn't true. I do not have RA. I do have, I guess kind of different levels, but I do have SLE lupus. But, I mean, that doesn't scare me or bother me. People hear that and they just totally freak out. Because I'll say, in my opinion only, because I know what allopathic medicine says, no cure, can't do this, whatever. It can be turned off. And some of the things I was already doing, I'm seeing positives and things. But, I've talked before about how I have EDS, which is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I was born with it. I don't know any different. I have a type that affects my heart. I've talked about that. And one of the things with people who have EDS, they have high fibrin in their body, in their blood, in their cellular, all that type of stuff. We just can't get it out like we're supposed to. And it's because of like an enzyme problem. So I'm having a problem with enzymes and stuff. So I'm getting that situated out. Sorry, I'm reading my notes over here because I'll forget. Which also led to some things of having some leaky gut stuff. And that's why there was different things, because if you have leaky gut, things that are supposed to stay in your gut go through and enter into your bloodstream, and then you have problems, and then you get these autoimmune diseases because your body's like, wait a minute, that's not supposed to be in here, and it goes on attack. So that is going on. That's kind of an update. I do, I've talked before about how I had chronic Lyme disease. I'm thinking for the last 2 years there's just been a lot of stress and changes. Even good stress, it's just been changes and busyness and environmental changes and exposures here, which I had a lot of sky exposures and different things in North Carolina as well. I think it just kind of all started snowballing because I came back and I had mold toxicity in my blood work, and my cortisol level was too high. And I've talked about those things before on my channel, so I know what to do, but I needed, a naturopathic doctor also to kind of say, here's everything going on, and step away from it. They're not, it's me, so for myself, I will ignore my own stuff and go help and fix everyone else. And that's just the way I am. And that's kind of what's been going on. And then it has caught up with me. And my body was like, you know what? Enough. You don't want to do for yourself. You don't want to slow down, listen on all that. Then we're going to slow you down. And that's kind of what has happened. But I feel really good about everything. People have asked me when I put out my first video, would I give them and tell them the protocol I'm going to use? And I have a protocol I'm going to use for SLE lupus. And that is just a label, but that's not what, how I am about labels. It's just a label to throw on something to say a term, what's going on within my body, what it's doing to itself, because it's kind of in haywire, attacking itself right now, and that happens. And as far as the protocol overviews, yes, particular like down to dosages and stuff, no, I'm sorry, I will not give that, because what's going to be working for me, because, you know, we're all different and different things are affected. Let's just use autoimmune, for example, but this goes across the board. Is not going to be the same how it's going to affect, or the level or where you're at for somebody else. Mine has not affected my kidneys whatsoever. My weak, dare I say, area is cardiac, because I have that thing I was born with and I have EDS. So there are some markers that came up that it was starting to show effects with that, which I knew because I've been having cardiac symptoms, especially in my sleep and at night, and they would wake me up and things. So, you know, it's just that stubborn part of me, as I have to do for myself. There are certain things I'm going to do. Like I'm going to do plaintiff tea and stuff like that. You know, I'm doing the long leaf. That's going to help with some of the detoxing type of things I need to have done. I'm going to use that. I need to do a different type of protocol and some supplement type thing I need to do that is for a specific type of enzyme that will kind of help. It's going to help kind of clean up that high level of fibrin I have going on in my body, which has caused all this snowball effect. That's what happened. And I can't, now people with EDS, I think I mentioned earlier, we do get too much fibrin in us anyways, and we cannot get that out. The enzymes kind of eat that away. When you get fibrin gets too high in different parts of your body, it gets that out. So I already had some predispositions that was going on, and then it just kind of escalated to something else and turned into something that I will say, in case I look like a hot mess anyways, or I am absent or different things, I am going to go through Herx with the protocol I have to start. My Lyme is showing up again, and it's been dormant for many, 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 many years. And again, that's one of those things. It wastes that perfect storm, that snowball effect, and says, "Oh, okay, you know, she's weak right now. Let's come on and do something." A lot of these things will do that, and that is kind of what's happened. It's been kind of that domino effect within me, but I actually feel really good. One of the things I am going to change, I take because I deal with chronic anemia, which a lot of these things can cause that. It's like several different things are causing the same thing, so those things got worse, and that's where I'm going on, and it kind of comes on that autoimmune disease going on. I've been taking a certain brand grass-fed beef liver capsules. I take those like 6 times a day, and I was like, I've talked before about being anemic. There was just different things, but I need to switch to the same brand that's all the organs, because there's certain things in the heart organ that will help for some deficiency issues and autoimmune type of things I have going on. So that's a switch I'm making. I had talked before about how I did cat's claw. I tried cat's claw when I went through my Lyme protocol, and it is extremely harsh. Some people can take it just fine. I could not. Had a real hard time with that one, and so I'm not doing that, but I am going to do olive leaf extract. That is one that works well, but isn't as harsh as what that is. Again, this is just me. You do what's best for you. I'm not telling anyone to take any of this or do any of this. I'm just saying what I have got going on for my own personal self. And then just some little tweaks of things here and there. And then we're just going to see how it goes. But I feel really, positive and good. I don't feel upset. I feel better. I was a little kind of that uneasy, I'm not really, I guess, kind of anxious about going into the appointment, because I just didn't want to. Because we've had so much going on, I just felt like I just don't want to deal with anything right now. And again, that is kind of what's got me into this situation, because I'm like, I don't have time to deal with stuff with me. I got other things and other people that going on. I need to help. I'm busy. And that can be my personality. A lot of us can be that way. But I just feel really relieved. I feel a lot better. People hear lupus, they totally freak out. I'm not freaked out. And I don't have any erosion. Imaging, I don't have any erosion in my joints, like the bone erosion, like RA and stuff could do. So things were not matching up. Clinical criteria was not matching up. And as far as the RF, it kept going higher. That has to do with the fibrin, and it has to do with the high cortisol levels and the Lyme kind of peaking up. And the mold toxicity has to do with a lot of different things that can happen because it's an inflammation, something's going on. So otherwise, I'm doing well. I'm doing just fine. I'm more, busy, hectic with things with the house because that's just how it is. That's how it goes. And with the hot water heater that just happened. It just happened, and it was a ton. There was hardly, when we went to drain it, there was hardly anything left in it. It was all underneath my flooring. So that's an ongoing thing. Please pray for that. That's just one of those situations but we are able to laugh about it and get through it. But I wanted to bring up to date because people have been asking, how are you doing with this? And the first thing I had was, it was an RA thing because of certain labs they only looked at. But that isn't the case for me. And I do feel very confident in getting lupus and anything else. Kind of everything will get turned, they'll switch back off. Even gene mutations, you can switch them back off. Autoimmune diseases, in my opinion, YouTube, you can switch them back off. You got to put in the work, and that's just what it is. You have to do lifestyle changes. You have to do certain protocols if you shall choose to go that route. If not, listen to your, what you want to do, your doctor, whatever works best for you. None of us are cookie cutters. That's why I won't go in big depth, because I don't want somebody to turn around and say, oh, well, I'll do this because that's what she's taking, because it's not going to work the same for everyone. And so I just want to bring you guys up to date and where I've kind of been. It's been kind of hectic, but I have another membership video getting ready to come out, and I have different other videos that's going to come out. But because I had that appointment today and I had a moment to just even sit down, I wanted to update you guys. I appreciate your prayers and people still emailing me, checking in on me, and everything like that. I'm always praying for you guys. Everyone stay well, God bless, and I will see you next time.